All right. Let's take a look at what's happened and what's happening. As you know, my talk was supposed to be on really kind of recapping what happened last year, as I understood it. I didn't get told until last night that I was going to be speaking this morning, but that's okay. That's plenty of time. I prefer to talk about where we're headed than where we've been. I think both are important, but anybody who knows my personality, I'm aimed at what we can do next. So let's take a quick look at what happened last year. If you remember, things were running very fast. In fact, those who were around me, I was telling them we could have a year where properties doubled. There was that much pressure on the market to go really fast and very hard. It was an exceptional market, low interest rates, the economy was roaring, people were back to work, and we were going to fly. We started to take off, and then a pandemic hit, and we had no idea where we were or where we were going to be. That caused, in the market itself, it caused it to drop. And
Here's your picture. Yep.
I'm sorry? Alan? Oh, he's on the phone, I think. Okay. So anyway, it dropped off, and it went down quite a bit. I mean, everything got kind of quiet for 1 month. The second month after that, it started to come back. And it then took off. It really went up vertical. I'm talking about last year. This is the short part of my talk. And then it went, as you know, the market went quite well through the rest of the year. Now, when I say quite well, we have been suffering through low inventory. But the reason we have low inventory is because there is a huge demand. I believe, and nobody can see it. Let me explain what I mean. If you're looking at the Stephen Thomas report that comes out, what is it? Weekly, I guess. Yeah, weekly. It shows what's going on. But the problem in the report is he calls demand the properties that are sold, not closed. He calls that demand, which is fine for his purposes. It's quantifiable. We can understand what it is. What I'm calling demand are all those people who want to buy a home who can't. Those people, it's hard to quantify. We know they're there. The people that are 32 is the number he uses, years of age, are out there in mass. The first-time buyers are hitting the market hard. So we have a plethora of people who want to buy homes. It causes a new problem. The new problem is the people who want to sell their home want to go buy a home, and we have all this new buyers in the home market clogging up the works. It's like trying to get on a freeway, and as soon as you get on the interchange, it stopped. So trying to find the right house, and then the sellers are going, oh gosh, I don't know if I want to sell because I got to go buy another house. I can see what's going on. There's multiple offers. So that's last year. So what's new this year? A lot of stuff. First of all, we've kind of gotten used to where we are. We still have too few properties that are on the market. And there's no end in sight. If your people are thinking that they can wait to buy, it's actually accelerating. It's not decelerating yet. It's not going past us. more people are entering the market as sellers. They're still coming off just as fast as they did, if not faster. Stephen Thomas's report says there's no top in sight. I believe that's the title of it for this week. There is no top in sight. Of course not. The amount of people waiting that have not been able to find a property and put money down on it is so massive. I think Stephen used the example of when we heard there was a pandemic, everybody ran to the stores and they took all the toilet paper off the market. I mean, if you went at that time, it was ridiculous. I mean, every shelf of paper goods was gone. You couldn't find any. Well, that's kind of what's happening in the housing market. There's a rush on buying houses. So, what does that mean? That means property prices are going to go up radically, even more than they did last year. I think, and I'll get Alan's opinion here, Alan, in a second. I don't even think if you got to 7%, you would stop this market. It's that hot if interest rates increased. It does change the market. It changed what somebody can buy. But once you get the herd panicked or the herd running, think of any of your movies or pictures that you see on wildlife, and you cause the herd to start running, it is almost impossible to get it to stop quickly. You can't do it just because you want to go out there and put something in the way. They'll trample over things rather than stop. So, Alan, do you agree with that? Once the herd gets running, interest rates, yes, they can stop it, but I don't think it would be even if you got to 7.
Well, it's interesting right now. I was going to just mention, and the market since January 5th, the bond market has lost almost 270 basis points. That's 2.7%, which equates to about a half of a point interest rate. That's how much it's moved since January 5th. The good news out of this, I think, what's going to happen, as Tim mentioned, is first of all, you have very little inventory right now. So with little inventory, it's like supply and demand. It's that economic rule. But with interest rates increasing up, what you're going to see is probably more homes hit the market because they're looking at, okay, this has got to be the time to sell because they're thinking rates are going to continue to go up, and all of a sudden their home is not going to appreciate as fast, they're not going to have many offers, and that's what I think will get people off the fence. So I think we're going to start seeing more listings hit the market, especially this time of the year too, coming in the springtime. But Tim's right, if these interest rates even went up 1%, you're still going to have a busy housing market because there's no inventory right now. In fact, around the United States right now, there's like 1.2 million listings in the entire United States right now. And across the board, nationally, we saw 10.5% on average, 10.5% appreciation last year. Phoenix had 14% appreciation. San Diego had 13 point something appreciation. So in certain markets like Southern Orange County, we had a lot of appreciation. So with that, again, supply and demand rule, you're going to still see your properties appreciate, but I think you're going to see more homes hit the market. So like
right. I can even tell you that Riverside has the highest, I think, in Southern California appreciation. There's a reason for that, and that's affordability. But let's talk now what that actually means. It's very good news. Like I said, people are getting used to the market we're in. When markets radically change, if they go up or they go down, when markets radically change, it affects everything. People aren't used to it. They don't know what to make of it. They can't wrap their head around it. It causes some people to become deer in the headlights. They don't want to move forward. What does this mean? Is this just something that's going to go and quit? I've even heard some say, well, this is what happens just before a big crash. I don't see anything yet that would indicate a big crash. If you are working with somebody who is entry level into the marketplace, this is a way to get in and literally have equity a month after they're in because the market is going up so fast. Okay, what if it crashes? Question is this: how long are you planning to stay in your house? I shouldn't say crash. Crash is something, I'm sorry, take that word out of my mouth. I don't mean crash. It might go down. In fact, it will go down. We all know real estate goes up and it comes down. We've been on an uptrend for a long time. It will go down at some point. But my question is, how long are you going to stay in the house if I'm talking to a client? Why? Well, you don't lose anything. You're living in a house you want to live in. It becomes your house if you pay it off. I mean, 100% yours. It is your house as long as you can stay in it. It's better than renting because rental market is also flying up. You know how much your payments are going to be for 30 or 15 years, depending on the loan you're in. So it's better than renting. It's your property. You can do anything you want with. And as long as you aren't selling, how long do you think you're going to be in the house? You'd be surprised what people say. 10 years, 15 years. You're fine. Take a look at the mortgage meltdown, where properties were dropping so fast, it was hard to keep up with. The market was flooded with foreclosures and short sales and everybody trying, it's the opposite of this, everybody exiting the market, losing money rapidly. Now, Alan, I'm going to call on you again. How long did it take for us to recover?
It took, conservatively, I'm going to say probably 6 to 7 years.
It's about 6.
14, 15.
It was about 6 to recover. And then we took off. That's exciting. So if you were thinking about, well, I think I'll be in my house 5 years, do you think you could stay in one more if it crashed? People think that it isn't, you're not getting wiped out unless you can't pay your payments. And the problem is you can't sell at that time and make money. That's what I mean. You still have a fixed income, and as long as fixed payment, and as long as you're in that fixed payment, you're good. I mean, it's fabulous. You know how much you're going to pay every month. If you were in rentals, the whole market didn't sell. The whole market didn't lose money. It's the people who had to sell when the market was down that lost money. You had on paper that your house went down in value, but if you were going to live in it, it didn't affect you. It affected you when you decided to sell. A lot of those people who were in those houses by now made a lot of money if they stayed in them. So don't get, as an agent or as an individual with your own house thinking about buying and selling, it's one of those things that you just don't want to get that emotional and completely out of control. I had an investor during that period of time who said to me, the California market is dead. It will never recover. I am selling off everything. And I helped her sell her properties. How wrong was she? Huge. Where is she now? She lives in Oklahoma. Have they had the increases we have? No. If she had kept those properties, she would have made more money, but it's her choice. Did she lose money? No, she had those properties for a long time. She did not. She sold less than what the market would do. She still came out well. All right, so just don't panic. It is panic if things go down, but we're going up. Back to that, first-time buyer. I'm afraid it's going to collapse at some point shortly. Not likely. It's not likely that we're going to have a crash. You may have an adjustment, is the way they like to put it. So let's go over some statistics, since I think it's going to be a hot, hot, hot market. People coming back in it, starting to list their homes. You're going to start seeing that, I believe, sometime in March. Probably second half of April will be when it really accelerates. Why? Most people start getting ready for tax season. And I see a big jump just after the 15th. All right, let's go through some things. Inventory in Orange County is the lowest since 2013. There is a strong first-time buyer contingent, 32 years of age. It is the strongest in 26 years. That's putting the pressure on the market. That's, to me, the demand, besides all the normal demand. I think, I talked about that. I think the demand is greater than it was in 2017 by a lot. In the last 30 years, the pendings right now are at 2863, and the inventory is at 2438. This is from Stephen Thomas. Let me explain what that means. The number of properties sitting there that say they are pending and they will close are at 2863. The number of properties on the market are 2438. That means there are more properties waiting to close that have offers on them than there are properties that are available. That's amazing to me. That means the market is churning. It's going so fast. As soon as it goes on the market, it's going off. And they're coming on. They're coming on and going off, coming on and going off. A lot of them are going off in 2 and 3 days. The average time right now, I think, is 26 days. That's the average marketing time, 26 days. It's the lowest since 2004. This is good news. I don't think, I have lived through very fast markets, lots of them. But this one is just so supercharged with pent-up demand. People that just can't wait to get out there. In Stephen Thomas's report, he said there are multiple offers. Yes, almost every property has multiple offers. If you're working with buyers in this market, it can be done. I have 2 people on my team who worked with buyers and got them into the market. And by the way, they all got their people within or into the market very quickly. Hang on one second. Mike, do you remember how long they said it was? I'm trying to remember that number. Was it 90? 90 days, I believe, to get them all the way from in to close. 90 days. Now, I want you to think, if the market is running normal and you take somebody out and you then get them into an escrow to get them to close, it's 60. So 90 days is not that much longer. Yeah, but they don't have as much to choose from. Yep, but they find a house they like. They actually like it. It's one they want. So we want immediate gratification, and I'm telling you, going from looking to closed in 90 days, and that's been the consistent thing with new people and with veterans. Why are we acting like it's horrible? It's not. Now, if you had a mortgage that was at 2.8 and you had to go over $10,000 over the ask price because you're probably going to have to pay more than they ask, that amount would amount to $41.14 per month, roughly. All right, I suggest to you that you start, if you're working with buyers, do not take them to the top of what they can afford, because now they'll get outbid. They can't buy. Lender can't give them a loan. They don't have the cash. If they have the cash, fine. If they do have the ability to qualify, great. But generally, don't take them to the top number. Start them looking at properties that are below the number that you're thinking of. If you do that, you're going to have a good outcome, because they're going to be able to put in, and they can now bid up to the price that they were qualified for. So just work the market that's there. Don't work a market that's not there. That doesn't make sense. All right. Last year, 65% more homes were on the market. Really? Yeah. So what does all that I've been saying mean? It means you have to work hard. Sales right now, if you were to look at what they look like, I have a blackboard. I'm not going to draw it for you. No, I'm not going to draw it. I don't want to draw it. I want to tell you. Most of the time it goes in a movement like that. If you looked at last year, you had it going up, and then it dropped, and then it went vertical. Remember, they said this is a V-shape recovery, and then it did its normal thing. Starting this year, we look like we were at the bottom of that V going straight vertical right now. We went from 19 something to 28. Is that right? Yeah. To 28 homes that have been sold. It's amazing. It's only going to get faster, I believe. There isn't anything out there right now that's going to slow it down. The pent-up demand I saw for last year that I was telling everybody about showed up after we had the decrease and the market took off. But there are still people fearful of putting their houses on the market, separate from making money on it, separate from I can't find anything due to the pandemic. When the pandemic leaves, which will be this year, I think you'll see another bump, because people go, okay, I can have people in my house again. They can come walking through. We can do open houses. Everything is going back to normal. It's fabulous. Right? So, get yourself up, get ready, buckle up, and go to work, because you can make a bloody fortune this year as an agent. Since I'm also doing my own recording of this, it's going to go on my website and elsewhere. I want to say, if you're buying or selling, do it, because you're going to make money. As long as you stay in the market, you're going to make a lot of money. Now is the time to buy or sell. I truly believe that. As you can hear, I'm telling all all the agents here. All right.